This extremely uncontroversial big body ball top 10 after week 9. We're shifting our methodology a little bit and we're placing a little bit more emphasis on merit and resume versus who we think would maybe be favored in a neutral site game. So we'll have number 1 Oregon. They look like the number 1 team in the country and they've looked fantastic. They went on the road and beat Purdue. They just beat a number 20 ranked Illinois with ease, didn't even break a sweat. So they look like the best team in the country and deserve the number 1 ranking. Number 2, Penn State also went on the road, 6.5 point favorites, and they covered easily. And in the process, they did that. They lost Drew Aller, and they had a backup quarterback come in and kind of actually changed the game for them. So Penn State, undefeated, have looking great so far. They have a huge matchup against Ohio State this weekend. They're my number 2 team in the country. Miami just did whatever they wanted with Florida State. Game really wasn't particularly close. They kind of coasted in that game, but they're undefeated and are looking great. And Cam Ward is a difference maker for them, as well as their running game. So give me Miami at number 3. Here's when we're going to get really controversial here, and I don't really understand why. Indiana at number 4. They just flat out are playing good football right now. They're undefeated. They just won a game with their backup quarterback. And also that game really wasn't all that much of a competition for them. They've been looking really, really good so far. And guess what? They have Michigan and Ohio State coming up on their resume. So we'll find out who they really are. But I think we've already figured that out. They've been a very impressive team so far. Moving on, number 5, we got the Georgia Bulldogs. I think that they have just that 1 loss to Alabama, but since then and really outside of that, they've really shown that they're capable of being a top-tier team. So give me Georgia as number 5. BYU. People continue to sleep on BYU. They were underdogs in the game this weekend versus UCF, and they just spanked them. They remain undefeated. People continue to doubt them. They are the number 6 team in the country for me. Clemson, they had a bye week, and I keep them at number 7 here. They've been hovering around this like 7 to 8 range for a few weeks now. Since the Georgia game, they have just been absolutely dominating every team that they have played. Now, granted, I understand the level of competition has not been fantastic, but they've been winning games by 20-plus points pretty much every game. So, and you know what? They have a tough schedule at the end. They have Louisville, they have Virginia Tech, they have South Carolina left. So they have a tough schedule left to play. So we'll see. But I think that they've been really good. Ohio State. Man, I'm dropping them right here because, that was a great win for them. They came back with that drive late in the game to beat Nebraska. So kudos to them. But, man, not having those left tackles, not having Josh Simmons has been a really big problem for them. And they're going to be facing some teams with some good edge rushers coming up. So mainly Penn State. So, they have some problems right now. Obviously, good win would keep them in the top 10, but they have some blemishes that they need to address. Notre Dame absolutely just shells Navy. So, give credit where credit is due. They have looked good since the Northern Illinois game, and that's really their only blemish on their resume. So, give me Notre Dame at number 9. And then finally, number 10, Iowa State. They remain undefeated in a competitive Big 12 conference, and they are one of the teams that are rising to the top. Now, there are some teams on here you're going to get some flack for not having on here, mainly Texas and probably Pitt. Pitt remains undefeated. I have them just outside, but they're right there. They won by like 20, 30 points against Syracuse, and that game was never even close. And Texas, I think we're starting to learn a little bit more about Texas. I'm not so certain that Quinn Ewers is this like top 15, top 10, top 5 quarterback in the country right now. They didn't look all that great against Georgia, but again, that's Georgia, and Vanderbilt really pushed them to the limit. So I'll see what's going on with them. They don't have a crazy schedule ending up. They finish with A&M at the end of the season, which is going to be phenomenal. Looking forward to that. But they're kind of like Ohio State to me right now. I need to see a little bit more to have them jump these teams who have been undefeated and are proving to be great football teams like BYU and Iowa State and Indiana. So Big Body Ball top 10 after week 9. Follow Big Body Ball CFB on all socials.